After the April 11 floods, you know what, we were all devastated. And after driving around, you know, seeing the roads washed away, bridges washed away, it was shocking. I used to use this main Hans Dittman, you know, road to come to work and back and forth. And we've seen communities struggling using, you know, the Burlington area, you know, and then using those roads. I remember almost every morning traffic. So we had to think of a plan. We met with a few guys, Kadal Ghulam, Captain Taz, and we had Chris van der Berg helped us from the ESCOM side, the Oaks. They came in, they assisted a little bit, and then we hit the ground like within, I think, 2 days. We realized we're not going to get no assistance from the government, and we've seen the disaster throughout KZN. And there was no way that they were going to come and do a river bridge at Pompeii or anywhere else. So we started with that project.
I was elected as spokesperson and media liaison for all forms of media, digital, social and written. I'm a small business person, SMME. Many of the guys are as well. We set that aside. So 12 to 15 days at Pompeii Bridge, our businesses were at a standstill. Likewise here, our business at a limbo. Social life, family orientation life, all that had come to a standstill because of the fact that the community called upon us and they needed us, and they basically were left isolated by all authorities, including the ward councillors, including the municipality of eThekwini, Department of Transport and Sandral. There was no communication or engagement with the community from them to at least give them some sort of answer, some sort of timeline or time frame to say, listen guys, we're coming in at a certain time frame, please be patient with us. In the interim, use alternative routes, whatever the case might be. Nothing whatsoever. That is why we said, guys, pedal to the metal, let's get down to business, and this is where we are today.
I've taken time off my business to be here for my community. I think I listened to my president when he said Tuma Mina, and taking that from the president, I was able to offer my services to my community. Besides us coming together here as a community, it also highlights what you can do with proper workforce. Something that was said that will take 6 months to do has taken us less than 6 days to do. So it tells you the type of wastage that we have if things are not managed properly.
How we went about gelling people together, resources together and machinery together. The community leaders, the CPFs, the neighborhood watchers, the schools, the governing bodies, principals, teachers, temples, mosques, synagogues, churches. That's where the action starts.
And when the community was stranded, firstly at the Pompeii SHALLCROSS section, the gentleman who was interviewed before me, name of Marcus Richards, approached me and says, Menon, can we help? And I said, yeah, I can help. I have a few contacts. I brought in a little bit of equipment, free of charge, and we were able to get that done.
Look, we have various chat groups in the SHALLCROSS community, Malvern, Queensborough, Eskom, Chatsworth. So inadvertently, many of us who are activists and humanitarians on the ground.
We've got some of our own plant on site, and which was obviously sponsored.
We are all believers in whatever form and fashion. We've got Muslims, we've got Hindus, we've got Tamils, we've got Telugus, we've got Christians, we've got non-believers in this group. But we all, every morning we pray together, in the evening we bless each other that God will give us the grace and the strength and the humility. And what we're doing here is not for our own self-gain or self-empowerment, it's for the greater good of mankind. And that's where we come from.
I think the entire community was behind us. There was so much of support from the community, it was unbelievable. Every side, everywhere, everybody just wanted, you know, they just give, whether they were there with us or whether they were at home, on the WhatsApp groups, on Facebook or wherever, they gave us full support.
If you take, for instance, Mr. Suren Governor, Mr. Imtiaz Mohammed as well, gentlemen who are in the civils and construction and plant hire field, they're giving off the time presently, and they plant free of charge. So all we're paying for is the machinery that they do not have currently in their fleet or part of their business, which we have to hire out at exorbitant costs. Kader is a kind of a gentleman who brings people together. He's one of those servant leaders. He's always in the background, but he's also has put in quite a bit of resources in terms of his own time, his own funding, the people that he knows, the contacts that he's made all along the way. He's brought them together and he's gelled us into this one cohesive unit. The idea behind Pompeii was his initiative, and a gentleman named Vernon Kiston, and then I was brought in. So each of us have a specific role to play within the group. On site, the operations guys is Suren and Imtiaz.
It took us 5 days. But we worked early hours of the morning, late hours of the night. It was tiring, but we all put together and got that first road going.
Guys came together and then we get calls. Guys, Mrs. Singh is saying she's giving you lunch. Mrs. Naidu is preparing breakfast. Dr. X, Dr. Y is pledging X amount of money. This business is here, the pharmacy here. And that's how the whole thing got rolling. So the momentum started and it continued.
Cool drinks, tea in the morning, breakfast, lunch and supper. Yeah, there were a lot of people that supported us. The debris that was stuck at that bridge was a lot. Well, the guys tried initially. We thought that, you know what, we could cut it with chainsaws and whatever. We failed, but then we knew we worked on a plan B. It took us almost about 5-6 hours with a big excavator trying to, you know, remove that, just to open up the culverts at the bottom. To start the project was not really an issue on our side for the plant. It was more we're waiting for an email from the Department of Transport. We waited and waited, but we waited and nothing really happened.
The response that we got from local municipalities going up to provincial government and going up to national government was minimal or nothing.
It's costing our citizens, our residents of SHALLCROSS, Chatsworth, all areas, double, maybe 2-3 times the amount of fuel. I mean, look at the fuel today. So we tried our best to try to save our communities, you know, pockets and so on. That's what we wanted.
So we're saying to government, why is there so much of wastage? That is what we're saying to government. You know, you said to us, to Mambina, and we're taking the initiative, we're going forward. We're asking you to partner up with us, government. We're asking you to partner up with us. You know, let's do things properly, and we could save and have money for better things in life.
When we came here on the Hans Detman, we had a meeting just after we completed the Pompey River. And then we sent emails to Department of Transport, we sent emails to SANRAL, we tried to get in contact with somebody, you know, with assistance here. I think this is like 2.5 months later. Today is what, the 14th of June. So we had to, you know, get things done on our own.
It was actually the gentleman from Nordin, Gerald Subramani, who was heading the committee there, approached me and asked me if we could come and have a look at this bridge here a week after we approved the project at Pompey, which we did. And we asked him to reach out to his ward councillor, the DA ward councillor, Ward 63, and write to SANRAL and DOT and the necessary authority to get them to come and inspect the bridge and try and get the ball rolling. However, that was from 9th of April, roughly till now, nothing formal was given to them. Hence, they phoned us about a week ago. We had a site meeting with them together with our committee. They said that they had a formal committee and they had pledges from a few businessmen around the area, but mainly from the community itself, in terms of financial pledges. So we set up a trust fund. The money started rolling in, and then we got together. We had a meeting with our committee and the executive committee, the guys that work for us on the bridge, and we started there on Saturday morning.
We're starting like 6:30, 7 in the morning. We finish off at 10:30, 11. We finish off very late.
Now we have the tools, we have the means, we have the capabilities and the ability, and we're going to start running with the project.
But it was quite a mission, yeah. It was quite a mission. In fact, this was a more bigger challenge than the Pompey. 3 culverts were blocked here. There's only 1 culvert that was operational. We've got 3 guys that's our financial collectors for this project. We had pledges going out. We haven't collected any cash from anybody up until now. Only when everything's completed, right? That's when, you know, they can deposit the money into a bank account that we've got, and then we can you know, pay all our suppliers or whatever, you know, that needs to be paid.
Because the community was funding and certain business around the area was funding, especially Cecil Garage on Hans Detman, extremely generous gentleman who came in with a massive pledge at the beginning. His name is Yuban. He came and says, guys, I'll start to set the ball rolling. He has X amount of money, please run with it.
But we've had very good support here. We've had this Sasol garage there. We had all-shape roofing with the big amounts, VTS, Vicky's Transport, with all of us together. You know, we had a good support, and people are still want to give, and you know, we've told them, you know, just hold on. The last time when we had the looting, the communities came together. When we had these floods, you know, we had to get things sorted out, the community came together. So these, you know, these disasters that happen, I think brings us more closer, which is happening at the moment.
We've been left in the lurch by provincial and national government. To some extent, people call us a failed state. During the rioting and the looting, we left our own devices to protect ourselves, which we did admirably. We made sure our communities were safe. We've now crossed the divide and crossed bridges beyond the social norm, beyond racial barriers, beyond religious barriers, beyond financial barriers. Every person understands that if we don't stand together as communities, interjoined and intertwined, we're going to be South Africa will actually go down the tube. We've empowered people, empowered communities, we've empowered streets, we've empowered individuals to understand that now is the time for them to lift up their head, because without us doing that there, government's not going to help us. This is our country, yes, and we claim our country back.
The day that we opened that road, it was like you want to tear, because we actually seen vehicles driving up and down like 2-3 times to like, hey, you know what, we're actually driving over this bridge.
You know, to quote Thabo Mbeki in one of his books, I think it was a book called The Battle of the Soul for the ANC. He said, yesterday is a foreign country, tomorrow belongs to all of us. And that tomorrow that belongs to all of us starts here and starts today. And SHALLCROSS has set the example, and SHALLCROSS will be an example for the rest of the community to follow suit. Anything is achievable, nothing is impossible.
And it's a, you know, I feel so good being here, you know, completing this project, and you know what, having to say that, you know, this road is now officially open.